What's going on, traders? It's Trader Timbo back with another video. Wanted to hop on and go over my trade from today. So I only took one trade today. Here's my accounts, my 4 funded accounts with Apex, up almost 75 bucks on each account. So nothing crazy. But here is the trade I took right here. I took a long right here. So coming into today, we had, let me go to the 30-minute. Here's Friday's action. We had the high here. We had the low down here for the regular trading hour session. And then coming in today, we kind of had a gap up. And I was waiting to see how we're going to react near the previous day high zone. So to start the day, we got above that pre-market high and had a bounce. There really wasn't a ton of room up to the zone, and we're kind of grindy, so I didn't love longs at the time. I wanted to wait and see if we're maybe going to break above it, then look for a long on a retest or a hold above previous day high, or if we're going to be really weak and reject it and come down, maybe look for a short if we're able to hold underneath that pre-market high, and even make a new low a day, which would have given better confirmation for shorts. So we did reject previous day high here. We moved down under the 9 EMA, came down to test near the 50 EMA, kind of consolidated. Then they pushed it back up to the pre-market high level here. And we kind of had a little rejection here, but we had the 50 EMA right below. We're kind of sideways on the 9, so I didn't love taking a short here. So I figured I would just wait, and then we end up bouncing off the 50, and we get this candle close right here, back above that pre-market high, kind of above the 9 EMA. But coming into looking for a long here, you can see the conditions aren't the greatest. We're kind of grindy. We're not holding the 9. There's like no good trend, right? So I'm just playing like a quick kind of scalp long back above pre-market high. It's in alignment with the 9 EMA. So this candle closed, and then next candle, this is what I like to see. We wicked down off the level, off the 9 EMA, and then flipped it back green. And I took the long. I scalped out half here, kind of on a good push up near that 950 level. And then I trailed my stop. I put it just above, basically a little bit above my break-even point on the other half, and we ended up just getting trailed out. Didn't get any follow throws, hoping maybe we could go up and test near these highs, and I was going to trail it tight or just get out in that area, but we didn't get it, and I ended up trailing out that second half there. So, you can see the price action today wasn't the greatest. We're kind of just been in this range here. We're rejecting previous day high, but we're not really getting follow through to the downside. We're just kind of stuck. So this is the kind of day where you kind of have to take your foot off the gas and just take what you can get, or just don't take any trades at all. So, one trade, and that was it for me. So I was looking at one more here when we kind of came back underneath this pre-market high again. We retested up into it. We had wicks here right at the 9 EMA. The only thing is Trump was also speaking this morning, so anything could have happened. If he said the wrong thing and we, went straight back up, which is kind of what happened. You can see right here he made a comment, something about Iran, and it looked like it was maybe going to reject this pre-market high, but they ended up pushing it back up. You can see that volume spike here. So just got to be careful when there's not like a clear trend, there's not a clear direction. We're inside the previous day's range. We're kind of in this current range at the moment now. So like if I were to keep trading today, I would want to see us get at least above this high a day, ideally above the previous day high. And then for shorts, I want to see us break this low a day with a good move and then look for like a retest to go lower. Or, if we end up failing to break out of this range, then you can do a play to come back into the range and target the other side of the range. So if we failed to get above and you came back down If you see a setup like with the 9 EMA, you could take a short back down to at least the middle of the range or the lower part of the range. And the same thing the opposite way. If we failed to break down and we come back into the range, right, and we retest and hold above it, and if it's in alignment with the 9 EMA, I'd maybe look for a long back up to the middle of the range or the top of the range. So just kind of have to be flexible with whatever the market is doing on any given day, and know, like, if it's kind of like grindy, we're not getting respect to the EMAs, like we're not breaking levels really, we're just kind of stuck in a range. Like, you have to be able to know when that's happening and tone it back a notch. And if you take a trade, just know it's probably going to be more of a scalp type trade, right? Just take what you can get kind of day. So that's kind of, was my mindset when I took this trade, because usually, I'll hold and see if we can keep riding the 9 EMA if we're in somewhat of like a trend type day. But different conditions call for different profits and different ways of trailing out and raising your stop maybe a little quicker, or even just taking everything off on a decent little scalp push. So but I think it's honestly really important to be able to know when to not push things, right? That's probably more important than knowing when to push things, is knowing when not to push things, because if you get caught over trading in this kind of action, that's when you blow accounts. So be looking at these higher time frame, like the previous day high zone, and gauging how we're moving with the EMAs, with the levels. And like I said, if you guys want to come into the Discord, I'm pretty active in there and kind of just calling out what I'm seeing and trying to really just practice being patient in there as well, to help you guys kind of see when's the time to look for a trade, when's the time to kind of chill out and wait. So if you want to come in there and kind of see what I'm thinking throughout the day, feel free to do that as well. I'll put a link in the description. So all right, guys, I'm going to keep this one shorter and call it here. So appreciate you guys watching. And if you guys do buy any accounts with Apex or Lucid, Apex right now is 85% off still with their new accounts, and then Lucid is 50% off with, I think, with 2 accounts, and then you can get 40% off on the next 5, and then it goes down to 30% after that, I believe. So if you do buy any accounts at Apex or Lucid, I would appreciate it if you use the code Timbo. And if you found any value in watching these videos, I'd appreciate it if you use my code. So all right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll make more videos the rest of the week on these trade reviews. We do have FOMC and I think some other news on Wednesday coming up, so just be careful, because it can tend to get a little bit of choppiness leading up to those bigger news events. So we'll see what it brings for tomorrow, and then FOMC will be on Wednesday. So hopefully you guys had a good day, and I will see you guys in the next one. All right, see ya.